part 4 of the Granum Caddis Life Cycle series. Apologize for taking this long to get back to it. Life's busy. Anyways, I'm using a Firehole stick 718 size 16. But anyways, let's get started. As normal, the materials list will be in the description. So we're going to start off here with attaching our thread. We're going to run it back well into the bend back here. About right there. Move our excess. Now we're going to put a green butt on the back of this, and that represents the egg sac on the female of the Granum. So I am using superfine dry fly dubbing in chartreuse for this. We got that on there. Now we're going to, for a ribbing, which is basically there to help secure the hackle that we put in, we're going to put in some gold UTC wire in size small. So bring your thread back forward about that point. Let's keep that wire under the hook and work it back. We're going to tie that wire in right to the beginning of the dubbing ball egg sac. Okay, now for our hackle, we're using a done or medium done mid-size saddle hackle. Secure that in. I'll clip off that excess there. I don't need that in. I don't feel like tying it in. Okay, now for the body dubbing, I'm using, I don't know if you can see that, Swiss CDC dubbing in dark brown, and this will be our body. I want to use this because this helps the fly float. It gives it a little more of a buggy effect underneath the hackle. It's going to bristle out and stuff, but don't worry about it because the as you wrap the hackle and the ribbing wire over that, it mellows it out. So don't worry about putting a fairly thick body on it because, like I said, it mellows out once you put the ribbing on. That back into it a little ways. Okay, now let's put a 1/2 inch in. Okay, now I'm going to just trim some of those off. There's quite a bit of extra on this. Get it off there before I put the hackle, because I don't want to end up trimming the hackle too when it's dipped on the ball when I'm done. Perfect. Okay, now grab your hackle pliers and let's palmer this hackle back up to the front. Lovely. Use the rotary action on my vise to run this back up. There. I guess I should have maybe have done that in the first place, huh? Okay, we got that up there we wanted. Now let's secure that in before I break it again. Okay, now let's get rid of the excess there. Kind of preen that, pull that stuff back and build just enough of a bed for the next step after we pull the wire back. Okay, once again, there we go. Put your half hitch on there and get your thread out of the way. Now we're going to take the gold wire and we're going to reverse wrap that back through the hackle. Be careful not to bind too many of the barbs down. You're going to get some of them. There's no way around it. Tying it on that thick, we still have plenty of floating ability with what's there. Okay, now run your thread back up to it. Now let's tie that wire in. Okay, helicopter that off. Okay, now we're going to take some elk hair for the wing. To clip yourself off a fair piece. Better to cut just a little more than you're going to use, because you're going to have to pulse a lot of it out. And so you want to fan it out like that and pull out the little bit of wool and the fur that's underneath. Okay, now take a hair stacker. And let's put that in the stacker. Get our tips nice and even. Perfect. Oh yeah, looks good. Okay, now you're going to have a little bit more wool in the front again, what you didn't get out the first time. And go through, and if there's any pieces with flat ends on them, pull those out. Okay, now you have your bunch of hair. Now put it on so that it goes back just past the end of the dubbing ball. Now let's make a pinch wrap there and pull that down. Make sure it stays on top of the hook. You don't want it spinning around. Don't pull too hard with your thread, as you'll break it, and then you start the hair part all over again. Put several good wraps to help secure it. Now another way to help this from spinning around on you is reach forward in the butt ends, grab a little clump, put two wraps, and just keep doing that until you get all the way up to the front of them, and then tie them in. Okay, now instead of trimming this at an angle like you would for an elk hair caddis, we're going to trim it off as flush as we can get it, so we can put it in the next step. Okay, now that your thread is up at the eye, let's wrap backwards over the hair. You don't have to cover it up all the way, but just a little there. Okay, now for the head, we're going to take the same dubbing that we had for the body, and we'll build the little head on the top end of it here with this. As you're putting this on, you're definitely going to want to keep pulling it back to the hackle, or to the elk hair wing. Keep it preened back. You don't want those fibers going forward from the CDC and plugging up the eye of the hook. Perfect. Let's do one more little twist of the dubbing. Okay. There. Now let's whip finish it. Trim off the excess. Now let's kind of go around here and clean up the head a little. There it is, the female Granum caddis. I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe to us. And stay tuned for the next pattern. In the next week to 2 weeks, I'll have another pattern. So, hope you enjoyed. Have a good day.